These are the buffalo horn tips that I had purchased. They're actually knife handle blanks that I got from eBay. On the belt sander, there's a stop piece that you could adjust, and you actually put it against it as it's turning around. You put this against that piece and gently, you gotta watch with your fingers, you'll take a piece of skin off. I put the thick part against the back, okay, the thick part against the back, and I push down and I kind of grind the tip down, right? It starts like this, and then I push down on the tip until I get it thin, okay? You wanna make sure that the belt's spinning this way and the thick part is against that stop. Because God forbid, if you went the other way with the point, it would go and get jammed in there, okay? So the thick spot, and you push it down until you get that angle, all right? Then you can carefully, on the belt, you can carefully develop a point, right? Once you have the thickness you need, you can develop a point, okay? And then you could use a Dremel barrel to round it and shape it and smooth it out, okay? And then some sandpaper. And then what we do is on the bow, what I do on the bow is I lay this on right to the edge, and then I'll draw where it comes to the end, okay? And then I'll draw a little angle down. Then I will go out to the belt sander, and here's the belt sander. And what I'll do is, since I have it marked on the sides too, you see I have it marked on the sides, I'll pay attention and I'll just taper it down ever so slightly a little bit, okay? Because I want to take off a little bit of that angle. I want to make an angle. Once I have that little angle and I played it kind of safe, I really didn't take off a lot of material, okay? I have that line, right? You see that line I made where the end of the horn goes? The end of the horn will go here. Now I'll take the file and I'll lay the file flush here. And I'll keep going back and forth, back and forth. And as I'm reducing material, this edge is creeping up towards that line. And I'll eventually get to the point where that line gets sanded off on that angle, okay? So you follow me? That line will get sanded off. And then when that line gets sanded off, then I can glue this on, and it'll look nice. Let me see. Okay, see how that looks? All right, so that's, I'm no expert. I just started doing this, but that's how I do it. That's all. I just wanted to share that with you. That's how I put that little bit of angle on the wood, how I shaped that that horn, that buffalo horn, and then I'm going to glue it on with AE40 epoxy and leave it for 2 days. Okay, it's a real cold morning. I left this bow outside for about 5 hours. It was raining out, but it was under an awning, you know, just to get some moisture. Then I took it in, and the limbs are 8% moisture, which is perfect for tillering. And I'm gonna cut string grooves in. I got one side done, I gotta do the other side. And with the horn tips, and basically what I do is I cut across, right, a 1/2 inch down. I put a mark and I cut across to the depth I want. Then I draw a 45 and I'll go down on the 45. Okay, I'll go down on the 45, and what I do is after I go down on the 45, I actually lift up a little bit, because as you pull back the bow, the string will go up, so you want it a little wider. So I actually go up and put a little pressure here and cut it. All right, so that's it. I have a video on how I cut string grooves. You can look it up. and I'll get back to you when I'm start tillering it. Okay, I gotta even out the bottom of the riser. I trimmed a little off, and we're gonna take these fade outs down so we can mark them perfect for tillering, and then we're gonna start tillering. The string grooves are all cut. Mask and goggles. The string grooves are cut. Looks good, right? I made sure the bottom of the riser is flat. I measured to the center, and then with the belt sander I made sure that the riser was equal, have equal limbs right to the center. So now what I did was I marked out where the fade outs are, and they're even on both sides. They're where they're supposed to be. Then I want, since I only have a 26.5-inch draw, I marked from the bottom of the string cutout, the string groove, 2 inches up. And that's going to leave this end a little stiffer. It's going to make the mid limb and the inner limb bend a little more, make a little more aggressive design. And I did the same on the other side. You can see I marked the 2-inch point. Okay, see the 2-inch point? And then in between from this fade out to that 2-inch mark, I marked the center. See the center mark here? Yeah, that's the center. So I'm going to use the yardstick like Keen Shannon does. I'm going to really take my time, and I'm hoping that when I'm done, I'll have a really nice bow out of my poison here, out of this black locust. Okay, and once again, you know, you saw it in the beginning of the video. Just when you're sanding and stuff, wear a mask, wear goggles. That's all. Starting the tillering process, we're going to take that back set out. We're going to make the limbs either even or, and usually one limb's bending too far up, we'll have to go a little lower than even and start the tillering process. Yeah, that looks about right. And what I'm going to do is, since it's hard, I have to hold the yardstick up. Okay, I got it marked at this here and 2 inches from the end. And you could see when you step back a little bit, we got a little bend here, and then we need wood taken off here. From here down. Okay, so that inner limb to right about here has to be taken down to get it to be even. We're looking for, what we're looking for was, here we go, from the fade out mark to that 2-inch mark. What we're looking for, here's the center. We want an even bend, a nice even bend. We want that mirror, what you call a mirror image. You step back and you look and you see what's got to be taken off. Okay, a little here. And it's a slow process. You take your time. We're going to go back probably hundreds of times. And like I said, it's freezing out. It's 32 degrees. And like I said, nice and easy. Take off a little at a time. And it's repeat, repeat, repeat. Okay, I took off material where I marked. And then I took off about an additional 30 strokes because I know how strong it is. And look what we got there. Okay, we got a really nice bend going on. I just got to take a little more off here. I'm going to mark it now. I got to put a pencil in each pocket for each side. That's what I got to do. Just a little bit more there. Okay. And then let's go check out this side. Okay, this side needs to come off from here to here. It needs to bend. And then a little more here. Okay. I have a pencil in each pocket. So here we go from the mark on the fade out here to that 2 inches over off the tip. Stand back a little. Oh, it's coming along. It's coming along. We're getting a nice bend. We need just a little bit out of the center here to start bending a little more. Looking good. Let's see what we got over here. Oh, we got this bending a little more too. Let me make sure I get it right where it's got to be. We got this bending a little bit more too, but we need a little bit more here to bend. Okay? And when you start getting close, then you got to take off a little bit of material at a time. And if you want, what you do is when you mark the pencil, you can take sandpaper. Start in the middle of your mark, sand it, and work your way out to the edges. Draw the line again, do it again, check it. You can use sandpaper. I'm using a belt sander. All right, I've been using tools for a long time, and I'm fairly cautious. All right, don't get me wrong, accidents can happen, but I'm pretty good at it. So you can always use a sandpaper, like a 60 grit, aggressive grit, and you could take the till of the bow like that. Okay, the goal is to have a mirror image, and eventually we'll get that from the center. Well, what do you know? Look, we have a mirror image on this limb. Let's check out the other limb. Okay, I got to stand back to look. It could use a little more bend in the middle and a little over here. Okay, so touching it up and going to come back. And once again, it's from the fade out to that 2-inch mark down here from the bottom of the string groove. And we're using this as we want equal on both sides of that center mark. Okay, we're going to check it again. I took some off of there. We're going to look at this side again, just to show you. That's what a mirror image looks like. It's supposed to be perfect. Here's the center. Okay. Well, I have a tape measure in my pocket. Let's see what we got here. We got roughly ½ inch. Oh, what do we got? Okay, we got 5/8. We got 5/8. Got an old tape measure. It's hard to see at the beginning. 5/8. Let's see what we got. Let's see if we got that mirror image here. It just needed a little touch up. It should be close. Oh, we got it. And what do we got here? Here we got a ½ inch. So that side is bending a little more than this side. So I'm just going to take a couple strokes off, come back, and then we're going to drop it down. See how far we could drop it down and keep that nice bend. Got that mirror image. The height's the same. Got that mirror image. We're going to go down another inch. Height's the same. Mirror image. Looks good, right? Mirror image. Mirror image. Go down another inch. We got a nice mirror image. Got a nice mirror image. Going to go down another inch. That early tillering, that micro early tillering really pays off. Oh, dropping down here. Hold on. It's kind of hard to do this and step back. Perfect. Look at that. And once again, you're looking at the camera that's back further. You might see little tiny differences that I can't see. Perfect. Let's go down another inch. Look at that. Looks beautiful, right? Okay, looks good. I think we're going to take a little bit off of here now. Just a tiny little bit. We're starting to see a little tiny bit here. Just a tiny bit. Let me go check over here. Stand back a little bit. Now this side still looks good. All right, so I'm going to just touch up that side a little bit. You see how far we came down with that micro tillering? You get it bending early and it comes down pretty good. So I just got to touch that side up and we'll check. We are at 20.5 inches to the bottom here. And it's really not enough, if you look from tip to tip in this ruler, not enough to put a string on yet. So we got a ways to go. Okay, don't rush. The goal is perfection here, perfection. We have a 1 inch gap there. Took a little more material to get this bended a little bit so I can actually get that beautiful mirror image. Look, we got it bending. I took a little bit off, see? We got an inch and a quarter. So that's an inch, this is an inch and a quarter. So this is where I'm going to stop at that 20.5 inch mark, and I'm going to take some strokes off of that side. I want them to bend evenly. So that one's a 1/4 inch less than this one. So we go back and forth on the belt sander, and then I'll get back to you. Okay, they're bending even now. We're going to go down another inch. They're bending even. Got an 1 3/8. Almost getting ready to put a string on. We got an 1 3/8. Let's just check it out, see what it looks like as far as the string goes. Okay, it won't be long. We're going to go down another inch, and then we're going to look for another string. Beautiful. Beautiful. 22.5. I'm going to put the scale on this. I'm going to pull it down with the scale and go down to that 22.5 mark and see what weight we got here. Okay, we got 36 pounds. We got 36 pounds. Okay, I'm not sure if I want to go with the 3D bow or a hunting bow. I honestly think I'm going to go with a 3D bow with this, and then Then I'm going to make another recurve hunting bow. So I think we just got to take off a little bit more weight and get a shorter string. Okay, just to let you know, I have a shorter string and I want to put it on, and the string does not lay in the grooves enough. I have to make them deeper. All right, so that happens. I figured I might as well tell you everything that's going on. So when you say, "Oh, I'm tillering a long string," I go to put the shorter string on, and it don't sit in the grooves. It's got to go deeper. Okay, inside the horn or antler tips too, when you make the string grooves deeper, you don't want no sharp edges on the horn. So you got to make sure you don't want no sharp edges here. So you got to make sure that you polish them a little bit. Okay, make them round. No sharp edges. Okay. Okay, make sure that they're flush or they're in a little bit more than flush. And I'll just show you this over here. This one here is flush, but look over here. See? It's not flush here. It has to go deeper on this side. Okay, I have a string with a 4.5 inch brace height, and you could already see whenever you throw a string on, that's when you have to start adjusting it. So what we're going to call the top limb is 5 inches, and the bottom one is 5 3/8. So we're going to take off more weight off of here. We're going to do a few strokes and try to get them to bend even, and I'll get back to you. But every time I throw a string on, you know, that's it. You want to make them the same here, midpoint too, okay? So a lot more weight got to come off. Okay, every once in a while you have to know when to take a break. It's just too cold, and I got to be able to concentrate and think about what I'm doing. And I'm still working on the limbs, but getting them even. But I'm going to go in, warm up, and have a cup of coffee and come back out. Okay, a cup of coffee, I warmed up, have some snow flurries going on. And what I wanted to tell you too is, you know how I have the limbs marked, right? And I'm measuring on the string now to make sure that they're even, top and bottom, okay? Which I have it now even. But you have to look at the thickness of the limbs as you're getting them down to tiller them, and make sure that one side of the limb isn't thicker than the other. You got to be mindful that you want the limbs even thickness on both sides as you're sanding, whether you're hand sanding, you're belt sanding, whatever you're doing using a draw knife. Be mindful of the thickness of the limbs on both sides, because I just figured it was worth mentioning that, let's say you're measuring on this side, and down here the limb's thicker on this side, but this side is thinner. You're gonna drive yourself crazy trying to make it like this, even, okay? So what I'm gonna do is just put this up here now. Okay, I'm just gonna go down a few inches, and we're gonna put the stick up on just to take a look at it. There's no stress on this really. It's really not that far down. Okay. And when we look at it, it looks really nice. It's got a really nice bend to it. It's beautiful. Let's just check it out over here. And we got a real nice bend. But I'm just curious now, because this side seems to have less of a bend than the other, but it could be deceiving. And I always go, when I put the ruler, I put it on the outside or inside, on the inside here of the center mark. So we got roughly 2 inches and a 1/16, let's say. Let's see what we got here. And we got 2 inches and a 1/16. What about that? That's perfect, huh? Okay, let's see. Put it down a few more inches. We have it at 19.5. Still looks beautiful. Still looks beautiful at 19.5. So that 19.5, we don't want to leave it there too long. That 19.5 is actually 21.5. So we have 21.5 inch. Let's just see what kind of weight we got at 21.5 at that 19. Okay, we got 28 pounds. We're going to go down a little more. So we went down 20.5, 24. Let's go down to 23.5. And let's check it out quick. Okay, looks good. Looks perfect. Let's see what we got at 23.5. £32. We got 32 pounds. So I want to make a 3D bow. So that's 23. Let's go down to 26.5, which would be 24.5, and see what we got for a weight. We're almost there. £35. All right, so we got a bow made for 3D, 35 pounds, and 35 pounds at my draw length, my 26.5. So we did good. Okay, we're going to put a little mark just to see. Then we're going to put a mark at 28. Okay, we did it. 35 pounds at 26.5, and it's 38 at 28. And remember, it's longer, but I tilled it with a little bit of a stiff end on each side. Should be a snappier little bow. Let me show you the profile. We'll see if you can see what the profile looks like. And then we're going to shape it up. Okay, let's see. Let me turn the camera around, actually, so you can see the profile better. Okay, this bow will never break at my draw length. I got plenty of wiggle room, and it's not going to break at my draw length. I'm just curious to see how fast it's going to be with this design. And it's for light arrows for 3D, you know. And I had decided the last minute that's really what I want to do, is make a 3D bow, because for another hunting bow I want to make a recurve. Probably a hickory recurve. I think I'm going to stay away from black locust. So now that I'm done, I'm going to shape it up, cut a shelf in, and it'll be continued. Well, took some time, and I had my doubts, but I didn't get poisoned. I want to show you my little 3D bow, 35 pounds at my 26.5 inch draw length at 66 inches. It's tilled 2.5 inches down from the string groove, so it's a little more aggressive, hopefully a little more faster. And it's safe. It's 66 inches. It's a safe bow and isn't going to break. And we're going to go in the back and shoot it. But look at the handle. I shaped it out. We got a crowned riser, all right, crowned shelf here. We got a crowned shelf and a radius riser. All All right, crown shelf and radius riser. I got some nice little 800 spine arrows that we're going to shoot out of this 35-pound bow. And let's go do it. I'm going to put everything away first, and then we're going to go shoot it. And don't mind the string. It's an old string. I'm going to make a new one tonight. We have some crazy gale force winds here today. And last night was really bad. We had gusts up to 50 miles an hour. And I think my deer target might be busted. I'm going to stand it up and see what it looks like. Believe it or not, that deer target is about 15 years old. I keep on rebuilding it with target foam. The last stuff I used on it was Flex Foam 17. And I think, I'm not sure if that stake I had in there is so old it sheared off. But I just stood it up and I don't see no stake on the bottom. It might have snapped off. So we'll see what happens. At least it's standing and intact. I have a feeling that'll blow down again before tonight. I went inside and set the knock after I stood that target stand up. And we had such a big gust of wind that came that it blew down again. So I'm going to leave it. I'm not even going to stand it up for tonight. And hopefully the camera don't blow down. It just blew down. So once again, this is my black locust bow. And if it's going to be named the My Poison. It has buffalo tips on it. Okay, it's cut to center. It's 35 pounds at my 26.5-inch draw length. I just double checked it in the house again. We got a riser that I have a radius shelf, a radius riser and a crown shelf. Okay, it's looking good. And I gotta hold this camera stand a minute. I think we're supposed to have more 40, 50 mile an hour gust tonight. I think we got some 50 mile an hour gusts now going on. So we're gonna take a couple of shots real quick. Hit or miss. All right, I got these 800 spine arrows. I think I got the next string I make. I'm gonna make a string tonight for it. I'll make a little thinner string. So that deer target right there, the closest one on the right, that's about 15 yards. Let's see how it shoots. Not bad, a little lower, let me see. Let me try again. Here we go. Right there, look at that. Beautiful. I think the first time whenever I shoot one of these bows I make the first time, I'm always a little nervous. So now we're going to shoot 20. And like I said, this string, I got to make a string just for these arrows. I'm going to make it a little thinner serving on it. So now that bag target that's there, that's 20. To the right, went a little to the right. Right there. Right there. Okay. I'll have to send another one just to show that I wasn't unlucky with that or whatever. Just getting lucky. You know what? I want to try, just for the heck of it, I have 700 spine and trotter arrows. And I'm going to try 700 spine and trotter arrow at that deer. And I'm going to try and put the point on top of the 10 ring and see where it goes. Oh, okay. It works. I'm going to be using these thicker and trotter arrows. I aim for the top of the 10 ring and I hit like right there. So I'm going to take another shot now with these trotters at that 15-yard target there. What do you think? I think those are the ones, right? Now, as far as 25 yards, that target blew down. So I think if we move back a little bit, I could shoot that wolf. I would say where I am now, that wolf is 25 yards. Try and shoot that wolf. Normally, with 35-pound bows, I usually put it on top of the back. So let's see. Not bad, not bad. Let me try it again. We got strong winds out here. I'm liking the bow. So far my poison is holding up and I'm liking it. Okay, that time I was the shooting machine, didn't drop my arm. I kept my arm up on target and I hit right there on that wolf. All right, let's check it out because I'm just happy I shot it and it's a good bow. And I'm definitely putting clear polyurethane on it so I don't have no reaction to it. And let's check it out. Okay, sorry I had to tighten up the... So this was the first one. I'm always a little off with the first one. You're always a little nervous shooting one of these bows. And here we go. This is the 800 spine, the 700 spine and trotter. I'm really liking the entrada, okay? Which means this bow is a little snappier and it needs those 700 spine and trotters. Okay, this is the first one I took at 20. Look, you see, okay? And these are the two at the 25. And like I said, I'm shooting out here in the hurricane. When I was like a shooting machine, kept my arm up on target, my hand against my fence, and went right there, putting the point on top of the back. So I'm very happy with this bow, the way it turned out. And I just want you to know, if you do use this wood, wear the mask, wear the goggles, be careful. One guy commented after he made one of these bows that he had breathing problems from the wood, okay? So it's no joke. It does make a good bow. I have a feeling this one will last forever. This was cut down from a tree 3 months ago. So the fire hardening does work to make a shootable bow. Okay, let's just check it out. I'll unstring it for a minute. Okay. Let's see. Okay, it's like level. It's level, and I'm sure that after it sits in the house, we'll have a little bit of that back set come, but it's level now. So I'm very happy with it. Did good. Thanks for watching. Every day you get up is a good day. Get out and shoot. Watch my other videos on Bare Bow Joe. Okay, this is my poison with the first coat of warm satin polyurethane. Buffalo horn tips. I'm gonna have to, after the polyurethane dries, I'm gonna have to go over the writing one more time. Trace it and then cover it with polyurethane for another coat. But that's it, my poison.